Hey, welcome back to the We Don't Know It All podcast. This is episode 3. We got to come up with titles for these episodes, but today we're going to talk a little bit about the movies that we love. It was a good conversation.
That formed us and shaped us.
Yeah. So it was honestly, it was a really fun conversation. One of probably the easier ones that we've had together. It was a great time. So it's going to be a great episode. You don't want to miss this one. Let's get started.
Let's go.
Hey, so today we're going to talk about some of our favorite movies.
Passion of the Christ.
That's kind of a cop-out, but okay. Suck up for Jesus. Okay, anyways.
I had to say that.
Yeah. As a pastor or Christian, I guess you have to say
God.
That. But, so we didn't really come up with a form for this podcast.
No, we didn't. So it's going to be wild. It's going to be fast.
Yeah.
But sometimes the best things come
when you just wing it.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, what happened was we
what had happened
was we felt like it's not that the last 2 podcasts were serious, but they just weren't like just fun, joking.
They had a more serious tone.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent that is our personalities, but at the same time we're not boring old people.
Well, and one of the ways that Francisco and I really bonded before this podcast ever came about was movies. We talked mostly Star Wars, actually. We probably talked about Star Wars, but or Marvel.
Yes.
But so we decided that today's episode should be a little about that. It's one of our passions, movie, TV. So how do you want us to start with this? Do you want to do top 3 favorite movies? Just try to boil it down to favorite movie? What do you want to do?
We can try top 3. I feel like
I don't know that I have a favorite. I have never really been able to boil it down.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I'm going to say the names of 3 movies. However, they are not in any kind of special order where I would say this is the best. This is,
Well, you go first. You kick us off. You can explain each choice if you need to.
It's going to be a Star Wars movie, and everyone that's listening is going to be like, "Of course, it's a Star Wars movie."
Yeah.
Like, and that's so boring, right? But I'm gonna start in a different way. Back to the Future, the first movie.
The very first.
The very first one.
All right.
Back to the Future, number 1, because I do like the whole 1970s 80s vibe that it had going on with the Walkman and I love that era. And then it also the cinematography behind that movie is insane, and the more movies you watch of the trilogy, you're like, how did they get that?
Okay.
With the Steven Spielberg is a genius.
Yeah.
It's totally a genius. That's my number. That's not my number 1, but that's one of the top 3.
Speaking of Steven Spielberg, do you feel like, and the answer, this doesn't have to be super deep, just a question, but
all right,
do you feel like Steven Spielberg is just as genius now as he was then? Or do you think it was so cutting edge then that's what made him a genius and he hasn't grown to keep up with that?
I think he hasn't grown to keep up with it. And I do think that the things that he was doing 20 years ago were so advanced that it stood him out. It just made him. And I think some of the movies that he directed were they were movie icons, but then again, when
still movie icons.
And here's the thing, right? If they release Back to the Future in 2020 for the first time ever, and it was never released in the 1980s whenever that movie came out, is it still that good?
Yeah.
Is my question, right? So then, you know what I mean? So what kind of director would he be now?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think definitely he was a pioneer in the field then. Now he's an amazing director. Yeah. I'm trying to come up with words to say that he's great, but he used to be this because of the time.
I enjoy his modern movies, genuinely. Like, I do. If Steven Spielberg makes a movie, I'm going to watch it. You know, I think they're good.
Right.
But I just feel like he used to be viewed as this, like, pioneer is a good word.
Yeah.
Like, he was he was a genius, kind of like George Lucas was with Star Wars. Like everybody was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like I don't feel like that's the way people respond to his movies, but they're good movies. Like they're enjoyable.
They're amazing.
I was just curious. That was kind of a side note.
I look at plot lines. Obviously, I look at the story, but I also look at the cinematography behind it because of what I do. So, I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Michael Bay just gives you a headache.
Yeah.
But Steven Spielberg, like, knocks it out of the park. I can't watch a Transformers film. I just can't.
I don't mind them.
Like, I don't mind them because it's kind of cool, and then Optimus Prime's voice or whatever, which I got to meet the actor that does the voice of Optimus Prime.
At Comic-Con?
And he does this weird thing where he's like just talking normal, and then he just brings on Optimus, and you're like, whoa.
That's cool.
It still messes with you.
If you didn't know, Francisco used to go to Comic-Cons, especially let me try that again. Specifically Dallas, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he'd go to the Dallas Comic-Con and like sell shirts and merch and stuff, and so he got to meet all these people.
That was part of the business.
You have an Iron Man helmet, right?
I do. I've got some really, really, really cool movie prop deals that I've acquired. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a couple.
That's cool.
There's a couple of things in my office that I'm. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, let's do this. Let's switch back and forth. So then I'll do my movie, and then we'll go back to
Let's go for it.
So I think my first movie. So actually, let me start off with this. My favorite director of all time is Christopher Nolan, which is not like. I feel like for my generation, that's probably pretty normal. That's not like a crazy opinion or anything. Right. But I've just loved every movie I've seen. But the first movie I saw of Christopher Nolan's was Batman Begins. Right. So because I was a kid, so that doesn't really count. But outside of the Dark Knight trilogy, my favorite Christopher Nolan movie is I just lost it. How does that even happen? How does that even happen?
Was it Marvel?
It's The Prestige.
Okay, The Prestige. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
I almost called it The Prodigal. I was like, that's not even a movie.
Praise God.
The Prestige. So that movie, if you don't know, it came out like mid-2000s, and it stars Christian Bale, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson is in it, but she's really more of a supporting character.
Right.
And then Michael Caine is in it as well.
Right.
But that movie is all about two like rival magicians that are kind of going back and forth. But as they try to outdo one another, like the stakes get higher and higher. Yeah. And it was like there was a twist at the end of the movie that I never saw coming. And now when I rewatch the movie, I can see all of these little things that build to the twist. And I mean, literally, I've seen the movie over 10 times, and this is not a joke. Every time I watch it, I find something new that I'm like, I never noticed that before.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those first, like, I've seen multiple movies like that since, but it was the first one for me that I was like, I didn't know there were all these different layers, and it was so cool and mind-blowing.
And that's when you know. I mean, obviously, directors are going to direct the film, and they've got storyboards and all these things, right? But that's when you know that a director is a good director because there are so many layers to every scene. And when you can accomplish to produce a movie that when a viewer watches it over and over and over and over again and still keeps them connected to the plot line, and not only that, but you keep finding new twists and plots and turns.
Yeah.
That's legit.
Yeah.
That's
and
legit.
I think that this probably, I don't know that this was true for that movie particularly, but all of Nolan's newer movies are so, like, he tries really hard to root them in either reality or the theory of, you know?
Yeah.
Like, even Interstellar, like, everything they did seems so outlandish, but he got it from, like, genuine scientific theories. And so it's just things like that that always intrigue me.
You know what Interstellar does to me?
What?
And I don't know if anybody listening or Caden yourself, it puts me in a mood of, like, not happy, not sad, but it's the perfect soundtrack to what's happening on the screen.
Yeah.
So much so that it's a futuristic movie.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm in the present.
Yeah.
It's weird. And just because of the music they use in that movie.
I used to feel that way about Inception, but Interstellar is such a different level of it.
And then it has Matthew McConaughey, so you can't even.
Which is my favorite actor, by the way.
I mean, it's.
I don't know. Well, let me back up. I don't know that Matthew McConaughey is the best actor of all time. I just I love his voice. I love the roles he's played, so I've just always liked him.
Absolutely. But Mike is saying, Mike is in the room. Episode, There's a connection to episode 1. See, we're turning into amazing directors now.
Come on,
we're making layers on layers,
unintentionally.
Let's go. So
what's your second movie?
Okay, again, yes. I'm not gonna go with the Star Wars movie yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna go, and then this is gonna open up a conversation that I want to ask you about, Caden.
Okay.
Harry Potter,
Okay.
The Order of the Phoenix.
Interesting.
And this is why. I mean, I read the books, right, growing up as a
Okay,
kid.
this is going to be spoilers. But okay, so I've seen all of the movies, but remind me what happens in Order of the Phoenix.
Order of Phoenix is when they finally, like, when stuff is starting to really happen, and they know they got to build the team to, like, go fight all the Death Eaters.
So is this, just as a reminder, is this post Robert Pattinson's death?
No, that's when it happened.
Oh, it's the same. It's the same movie. Okay.
So you see Harry Potter
right,
going
that's
from
right.
somewhere
Okay.
where he didn't have anyone.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you asked that question. Didn't have anyone, had someone, and then he dies.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks so bad. Like, it's so bad. And I connected with that movie.
Yeah.
Not only because I love Harry Potter and all that stuff, but that movie did something that I was like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
That's not cool. And so, question, right? Certain movies you connect with because you not only love stories and plot lines, but they kind of remind you a little bit about what's going on in your life. And then they also provide an escape
Yeah.
from what is going on in your life,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Have you ever had a movie do that to
Oh
you?
yeah, my second movie kind of does that a little bit from a very different perspective.
Yeah.
But yeah, my second movie probably does that a little
I
bit.
was
too.
like, I can't believe that happened to Harry.
Well, and I feel bad because I love Harry Potter truly, but also I wasn't allowed to read or watch Harry Potter growing up in your typical Christian family. But I watched
I don't
them.
think I was either, but
I wasn't rebellious. Sometimes I wish I was a little more
was a little
rebellious than I
wild.
was, but by senior year of high school, my parents just didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
So I watched them all for the first time senior
Yeah.
year of high school. So to this day, I've never read the books, and I know that they're way better. Like
Mhm.
I've always heard that,
Mhm.
but I've just never read them. So if any of our listeners has all the books and wants to donate them,
Send 'em
Mike's
over.
offering
Mike
to
is saying
donate
he
them.
has them.
Yeah, but if somebody has
Doesn't surprise me.
limited leather bound versions or something stupid, I would take those for sure.
Half Price Books has a weird collection of them that makes the books look like it looks like an encyclopedia type book. It looks really cool, but it's like $600.
Yeah,
Not sure. I'm not sure I'm gonna pay $600 for the Harry Potter collection, but
Barnes and Noble had a leather-bound collection for the Lord of the Rings books because there's only the three, not
Yeah.
the Hobbit or
Yeah.
anything, but the three, and it looked pretty cool. They were like $70. I almost bought them, but
I did almost say Lord of the Rings, the first movie. However, I feel like I didn't because it's so sci-fi.
yeah,
Well, Harry Potter's, but I just All right.
those were done really well too.
They were done
the Lord
very
of the
well.
Rings. We need to do an episode in the future, comparing books and movies, the ones that were turned into each other.
Easy
That's a
money.
future episode.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
So that's your second movie.
That's my second one.
Harry
What,
Potter, Order of the
what do you
Phoenix.
got? What do you
So
got?
my second movie, I was talking to Mike before we started recording. This one's a little probably controversial. Not that the movie itself is, but
Okay.
adding it to your top three is probably. But it's my top three. It's not your top three, so it doesn't matter.
Hey, it's our list,
yeah.
okay? You're gonna disagree with us anyway.
Yeah,
so.
you can't change it. Sorry. No, this one has been interchangeable a few times. At one point, it was Dead Poet Society by Robin Williams.
yes.
Which is beautiful. Only movie to this day that's ever made me
Yes.
tear up. But the movie that it currently is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty with Ben Stiller. So that was the movie, you were talking about cinematography. I don't, maybe cinematography is not even the right word, but just the locations that they filmed in, the way that they captured those locations were so beautiful to me. And it was one of those, Ben Stiller in the movie is going on a journey of trying to figure out who in the world he is. And the whole movie is centered around he lost this picture.
Yes.
And he's trying to find this picture because he works for Life magazine, and it's the final magazine, and the picture that he lost is supposed to be the cover of the magazine. Have you ever seen the movie?
I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a good movie. So it's kind of a drama. It's kind of a comedy, kind of a drama. It has some serious moments. But I loved it. I mean, I absolutely loved the movie. But he travels to like Iceland and Greenland, and so he's like going through all these different. Towards the end of the movie, he's in the Himalayas, and it's just beautiful. His whole story, him finding himself, him becoming confident again.
Yeah.
Also, throughout the movie, there's this running joke. Like, he tries to sign up for a dating service, and Patton Oswalt is like the phone number that he keeps calling, to, like, as a self-help thing. And that's funny to me. And I don't know, the whole movie, I love the movie.
That's cool.
So if anybody listening or watching this has seen that movie and agrees with me, feel free to add it in the comments so that I don't feel crazy. But
you know what? Movie. I feel like we have similar tastes in movies and cinematography. However, our top 3 choices could not be
any different.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. I see. Now I'm racking my brain. I don't know what movie to pick for number 3 because I want to go Star Wars, but I also don't want to go Star Wars.
Okay. Well, let's do this then. Put in Star Wars temporarily as a fill-in while you're thinking of another one, because I'm curious to know what your favorite Star Wars movie is.
Favorite Star Wars movie is going to be Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
Return of the Jedi. I like the fighting scenes. I like the back and forth. I like the whole the plot line as it builds and as it, comes back, and then like the big
What's your favorite scene in the movie?
That's too much. I can't answer that.
Like, let's word it this way then. It doesn't have to be your favorite scene. Let's say you want to watch part of the movie, but you don't have time to sit down and watch the whole thing. What do you fast forward to see? I do that with Lord of the Rings. I fast forward to the fight scenes, which is kind of cheap a little bit, but besides the point.
At the beginning, there's that scene where this is tough. This is tough because I watch the movies. I don't know. I like the whole movie. I really, truly do.
Yeah.
I can't. If someone fast forwards a movie for me, like, it messes it up. I don't want, like, I never do that.
Yeah.
But I guess when Luke is like done training.
Okay.
And when he's like, I'm ready.
Yeah. I think Return of the Jedi is my favorite one too, actually. Because growing up, that was the one for one reason. I don't know why, but for one reason or the other, that was the one that we always watched over and over again.
Yeah.
So I just always liked that one.
The funny thing is, I didn't really say a scene. I said a moment in the movie. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Like, it was, yeah. Anyways.
That's one and the same, sort of. Not really, but
I'm gonna you would never guess this movie.
Okay.
This is where I really want to throw this one out there. I'm gonna throw 2 out there. Okay. This is hard. It's hard.
We went from top 3 to top 6.
Yeah, now we're okay. It's our podcast.
Yeah, that's okay.
Here we go.
5, 6.
A Beautiful Mind.
I've never seen it.
That's a great movie.
Is that the one with Russell Crowe?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I've never seen it.
Russell Crowe. He's a mathematician. One of the best quotes of all time is, you can find it in that movie. And here's the quote. You guys can use it Valentine's Day. You can use it to bring some flowers to your wife, husband, whoever it is, girlfriend, whatever. It's in the magical equations of,
This is a beautiful quote so far.
Yes, hang on. I'm butchering it. Okay. It is in the mathematical equations of... Hang on. I'm going to have to...
We'll pull it up on IMDb.
Yes. Okay. It's really killing me.
Let me see if I can find it so I can read along. A beautiful...
Listen. A Beautiful Mind. It's in the mysterious equations... what is it? I literally... You know how you could... back in the day, everybody would put a quote in their bio?
Yeah.
That was it.
It's only in the mysterious equation of love that any logical reasons can be found.
It's only in the mysterious equations of love that any logical reasons can be found.
I'm glad you found it, because IMDb's letting me down so far.
I'm telling you, that movie is so good. The plot line is insane. The feeling of him being in college and then having a successful life, and then his mental state kind of deteriorating, and him thinking that he's somebody who he's not, and then he himself realizing that what he's seeing is not true.
Yeah.
Wild. But okay, I'm gonna stop. Go for it, Caden. Give us one more, and then I'm gonna give you guys one more after this one, and I'm done. I promise.
Well, then I'm going to give one more after that, too. No, so this third one, do I think that this movie really deserves to be, like, in the top 100 movies of all time or anything? No, I don't think that. But it is one of my personal favorites. Like, it's one of those, I think you have to judge different things when you're talking about your favorite movies. Like, what movies did you, like, genuinely enjoy? That doesn't mean, like, it's not Citizen Kane, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I reckon, I've never actually seen the movie, but I understand the, like, importance of that movie on cinematic history.
Yeah.
But that's not in my top 3 favorite movies, you know? So this movie, for me, is, like, it doesn't deserve to be on any of those lists. I just love it. It was enjoyable to watch.
Hey.
I love action movies. So it is the first Kingsman movie. I loved those movies.
Really?
I loved them. Yeah. It was so that movie came out junior or senior year of high school. So I had just turned senior year. I had just turned 18.
Yeah.
So it was the first time I went to see a rated R movie with my friends by myself that I paid for the ticket, you know.
Nice.
So there's something about it that may be a little bit of nostalgia. But then also I thought the fight scenes were beautiful. Like just the way it was choreographed and I mean they're super over the top.
Yeah.
But the comic books that it's based off of kind of feel like a parody of James Bond a little bit, but just done well.
Yeah.
I loved the actors. I loved the British, the English setting of the movie. Mark, is it Hamill or Hamill?
Hamill.
The fact that he was in the movie caught me very off guard, and I liked that.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Everything about it. I just loved the movie. I like the first one more. There's been 3 of them. One was a prequel. It doesn't really count, but besides point. I like the first one the most because I have this soft spot for movies like action movies or dramas where the character is being trained, like going through boot camp or learning how to be an assassin or whatever. I love those sequences. And so I like that a lot of this movie was him learning how to do everything. But yeah, I don't know what it is.
I'm
but
gonna
I
have
love
to go back and because I haven't. I mean, I probably saw it one time and that's it. Never again after that.
I own both of them on Blu-ray if you ever want to watch it.
I don't know that I have a Blu-ray player.
Okay, well, I'm sure I have a way.
We stream movies. Yeah. Movies anywhere, bro.
Hey, I haven't bought a movie in a long time, but I did buy those movies.
All right. So Mary Poppins is an example. Just kidding. It's not. It's not. Mike was like, yeah, it is. All right.
Honorable mention.
This is the last one. I'm going to say. Now, growing up, one of my history teachers was like very into the Second World War. And I got into it too, and I really started just like all the information I could get, I would grab it or whatever. It's super cool. But The Pianist.
I've also never seen that movie.
The Pianist is an excellent movie.
Is that Adrian Brody?
Yes, it is. Steven Spielberg. Crazy movie because, and I think that's at the time in my life where I thought I was like a good musician. I wasn't. But it talks about a lot of like music elements connected to the persecution of the Jews and everything that Nazi Germany was doing. And then at the same time, him making it through all the entire war in hiding and doing all these things. And the movie's pretty long. I mean, it's like 2 and change. It really is. But it's a great movie. Yeah. I could never grow tired of watching that movie. Me and my wife have seen that movie at least 20 times.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Okay,
it's great acting.
I want to switch gears on you a little bit, and then I'm going to name one movie, then you'll name one more movie, and then we're done.
We're really done, we promise.
Because I started to just throw out a movie to end the conversation, but then I had too many filters to think through. Because there's great movies that I have absolutely adored. Like, I honestly, Good Will Hunting. I love that movie.
Yes.
I love, like I said earlier, Dead Poet Society.
Yeah.
Love that movie. But then I was like, well, what about movies that I just enjoy for fun?
Right.
You know? And then that sparked another thought. What is the movie that you think you've seen more than any other movie? That doesn't even necessarily mean
My wife is going like, I know which one.
Well, that doesn't even necessarily mean that you like it the most, because
That's so true.
for me, it is the most random movie of all time. But it's because when we had cable, I don't have cable anymore because of Netflix. But when I had cable and I was younger in high school, there was a movie that for a season played on Stars every single day, and I thought it was so fun, so I just kept watching it. Step Up 3. The dance
Really?
movie, yeah.
Really?
I think I've seen that movie more than any other movie, and I don't even like. I would just turn it on and watch same dances every day,
And it's just
I
you
sit
just
there and watch
enjoy it.
Yeah, it was just fun. I don't
Because
know.
my movie, it's not a favorite, but I just enjoy listening to it.
Yeah,
I can't believe you just admitted that on the podcast. That's cool.
I didn't say it was my favorite movie. I just watched it a lot.
All right. Remember the Titans.
Oh, that's a good one.
I
That's
just
better than mine. That's a
like
good
literally. So I'll sit at home and work,
Yeah.
and if I just want white noise, I will put on Remember the Titans.
one. Yeah.
And my wife, last week I probably watched it twice, and she's like, "You can put that on again?" Like, I literally watch Remember the Titans at least once a week.
Yeah.
But it's a good movie.
I could watch that a lot.
It's a pretty good movie.
I've seen it like a normal amount of times.
Yeah.
Like 5-ish times, but I could watch that one a lot.
Denzel Washington,
Yeah.
he's a beast.
So I remember the Titans kind of moment for me. When Madison and I first got married, we got home from our honeymoon, and I found out that one of our wedding gifts was an Apple TV. So I set up the Apple TV
Yeah.
and logged into Disney Plus and
Yeah.
watched Remember the Titans the night we got home from our honeymoon. And so that's
cool.
my nice little
That's a
Remember
great
the
movie.
Titans anecdote.
That's a great movie. It's
Yeah.
just the whole, the segregation, and then how football was so important in high schools, and how it's a good movie.
There's some good actors and actresses
Really good
that have
actors.
come out of that movie.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Sons of Anarchy?
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that he came out of that movie.
Yeah.
That whenever I picture Ryan Gosling, it's so
Yeah.
hard for me to think of anything
Yes.
except for Remember the Titans.
Yes.
And he's in so many. I mean, Remember the Titans is a good movie, but
Yeah.
he's in so many other
Yeah.
movies. But I still just picture Remember the Titans.
Is it weird? This might be like my, and now I'm just rambling, but is it weird that my eye is trained to look at these things? I think, you know how certain movies have we call them LUT or look, but you know how those Universal movies, those like Paramount, they have like this weird, almost sepia kind of like grainy look,
Yeah.
with like the first scene is like a car coming up a driveway and the camera slowly panning in. Like, I'm like, yes, I want to watch one of those movies.
Yeah.
The old time way of doing cinematography.
Yeah.
That like pulls me
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
Yes, that's just the Universal, like the
company,
Yes,
Universal?
the globe turning, and then not the new like nice highly rendered Universal thing, but
Yeah.
the old one that kind of looks like it looks really bad, but
Yeah.
it looks like that gets me.
Yeah. I feel like we could sit here and talk about more
We
movies
really could.
over and over, but I
We
guess we
really
got to cut
could.
this off at
We
some
do
point.
have to cut it. Leave it in the comments what your favorite movie is and why.
Yeah.
I want to find out.
Yeah, and see if you agree with us, then you will be our favorite comment. So
If you're a Harry Potter fan, welcome. If you're a Star Wars fan, welcome. If you're a Steven Spielberg fan, welcome.
yes,
Hopefully this wasn't too boring for you, but we just wanted to share our nerd knowledge.
yeah. Hey, and as we've said before, please like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star rating. We've been called out lately for saying iTunes. I guess that's not a thing anymore. So listen
Showing
to us
our
on
age a little
Apple
bit.
Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and any of your other favorite
Yeah.
podcast streaming platforms.
Thank you guys so much. We appreciate y'all, and we will catch you on the next one.
Peace.